Hiya, I'm Jasper, and welcome to a video review for Interview with a Vampire. As always, I'm going to give you the good, the bad, and the furry. To start off the furry, lots and lots and lots of rats, and also a pretty memorable poodle scene. That's about all. Moving on to the good and the bad. So, as you might have guessed from the title, this movie has vampires. I will just let you know this movie does not have werewolves. I know many vampire movies have werewolves, and many werewolf movies have vampires. This only vampires. So, this movie is one of the greatest movies of all time because it stars two of the greatest movie actors of all time, Brad Pitt and Tom Cruise. And it also has two of some of the greatest other actors, and that is Kirsten Dunst, who gives an absolutely phenomenal performance at like whatever tiny age she was when this movie came out, and Antonio motherfucking Banderas, who is at like probably only Zorro was his sexier role than this, but man, it was kind of goes back and forth between this and the other one. So fantastic. This movie has like peak vampire-ness of vampires, but in a different way than Blade or the Underworld series. So this movie is it's a love story about vampire. It's a love story to vampires, really. It's not so much a love story. Like it's not a love story, so to speak, at all. But it's a love story to vampires and just how sexy and amazing and also how tragic their lives can be. So this movie is not an action movie. It is not Underworld, and it is not Blade. It is not an action movie. This movie feels a lot closer to Legends of the Fall, 7 Years in Tibet, or Meet Joe Black. Yes, I know all three of those are Brad Pitt movies, but it does have Tom Cruise in it significantly, and Kirsten Dunst, who was about the same age as like Jumanji Kirsten Dunst, but she kills it in Jumanji, and she is absolutely like viciously awesome in this movie, and it just works so well. And Antonio Banderas he's excellent in this. So this movie is about a tragic life of a vampire, and the premise of it is that he's getting interviewed. But yeah, it goes back all the way to colonial time periods, pre-Revolutionary War, and then kind of follows things along because of it's a vampire, so vampires live a really long time, and it's so good. It's like I said, it's not the fastest paced movie, but just every scene is just so intense, and just every minute that the actors are on screen, they just breathe life or death and vampireness into them. And it's one of those movies that if you like vampire movies and you like any of those actors, or you just like great acting in general, you have to see this movie. And I always thought that because of just kind of how long it was, that in my brain I was always like, that's like a 3-hour movie because of how the pace that it was. But when I rewatched it, nope, it's only about 2 hours, and I think that it uses that time appropriately. But it is not the fastest pace, but it's just when it gives the intense moments in between the slightly lower key moments, like it does it so well, and it's so worth it, and 100% gives you the feelings that it needs to. So I don't want to say too much more about it because, again, it's an interview, so you get to discover things from the interview that I don't want to ruin for you. But if you watch the first 10 minutes and you're like, oh, I can't do this, then you're not going to do the rest of it. But if you like the first 10 minutes and you are just already hooked, and I think you will be, then just go for it because it's so good. It's so good. Anyhow, that's all I have for this one. Thanks for coming. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you at the next one. Bye.